Hey, good morning, everybody. We're going to get started, and as people join, they can be filled in a little later. Just to let you know, there is a Q&A panel at the bottom. If you have a question, you could just put it in the question answer, and we will get to it at some point during the presentation or at the end. We do have room for questions. Welcome to Camp Sarras East Rockaway's virtual open house for the summer. My name is Tracy. I am the regional director for the West campuses. I was the director for East Rockaway for the past 3 summers, but I will be overseeing East Rockaway and 3 other campuses this summer. With me, I also have Jamal, who is our program director. He's been here as program director. This will be his 3rd summer, and he was also a group leader for a summer. So we have a lot of consistency back on our campus, which is great. And that's about it for that. So that's our introductions. Jamal, you can go to the next slide.
Okay.
Today, we're just going to start talking about some of the procedures that we have at Camp Sarras, starting with, is it working?
Hold on.
Sorry, we're having some technical glitches this morning. We apologize.
There we go.
Okay, so starting with, we're going to be talking today about arrival and dismissal, about what the camp day entails, a little bit about our health and wellness, and then registration information on how you register for camp and cost, etc. Okay, go ahead, Jamal. Next. All right, this is a picture overhead of our campus, and if you notice in the top corner here, this is the parking lot where you will enter in the mornings and also in the afternoons for pickup. This is most of the building. This part here, this L-shaped, is where we have our classrooms and a gym and all of the buildings that we use. Over here in this area is our blacktop, and that blacktop area we put the water activities on. They have some games outside. We have a basketball hoop set up outside. And then if you come to the back of the campus here and we cross this little street, there's a field there that we used last summer, and we will be able to use that field again. It is shady, it is nice, and it was a good addition to our camp last year. So that's just a little bit about our building. Go on to the next one. There you go. So arrival, last year we did a valet arrival, which the parents seem to have really liked. You pull up to the tent area through that first parking lot that I showed you on that picture. There's a designated drop-off area. You pull up, we do a wellness screening, a temperature check. And if a temperature check passes, then we take the campers out of the car. We take them to a hand washing station, sanitize their hands, and then bring them inside to their hubs. So that would be the morning drop-off is between 8:30 and 8:40, I'm sorry, and 9 o'clock. It's the same for those that do extended hours. It's the same drop-off procedures and the same pickup procedures as well. So for dismissal, you would most people pick up for dismissal anywhere between 4 and 5 o'clock. It's the same way that we do it in the morning. You pull in, and it goes pretty fast because East Rockaway is known for their recognizing cars before they even pull into the parking lot and recognizing parents. So it's pretty fast that as you pull into the parking lot, we're already calling your kids down. We will ask for ID until we get to know you. If you have somebody else picking up your campers, we do have an authorized user form that you fill out in your Camp in Touch account. If they are not on that list, then we will call home and verify that those people are supposed to be picking up your child. Safety is our first priority when it comes to your children. So we will ask you for ID, and we apologize for being pains for a while, but it has to be done so that we make sure that the campers are going home with the right people. And then we wash your campers up, they sanitize before they leave the building, and we put them in your car. And they're walked out by a staff member in their group usually, so the staff member will tell you how their day was and fill you in. So that's arrival and dismissal. Again, it's a valet service, so parents seem to like that a lot better. It's a smooth transition. It goes quickly, and that's what we're going to stick with.
Also, with the arrival and dismissal, we have set up cones in the parking lot, so it makes like a giant circle. And so when you come in the parking lot, you'll come in and go around, and then you'll pull in the front so that you'll always know the direction to go. And also with dismissal and exit, when you're leaving the parking lot, we have the cone set up so it directs you which direction to point out, so that we don't have any confusion or have any accidents in the parking lot. Our biggest concern is the safety and the well-being of everyone, including the children. So we have the cone set up so that everyone knows where to go and where to exit.
Okay, so that's arrival and pickup. So looking back to 2020, obviously it was a different kind of year. We were able to open successfully. We went through 8 weeks with 0 cases of COVID throughout our 10 campuses, which was really good. Protocols work when you have them in place. So instead, normally our summers are filled with trips and off-campus activities, but we weren't allowed to do that last summer. So we filled their time with a lot of things that we brought onto campus, and we reimagined what camp would be. And, the kids were happy. We saw smiling faces every day. We saw the kids having a great time, and it was different, but it was still good. And it was a chance for them to get out of the house, enjoy the socialization that they didn't get for months from being cooped up inside. So we brought in water slides, magic show, Shade's Big Shindig, which is our carnival. We had a talent show. We had an animal show come in. We had a petting zoo. We had a Lego group come in and do a Lego project with the kids. We had theme days. On our campus, we incorporated science, music, cooking, sports, along with our art, dance, game room, video game room, water activities, etc. So we kept the kids really busy last summer, and it was great to see them happy and smiling, and no one ever complained that they were bored, which was really good. Okay. So moving on to 2021, what can we expect? We can expect a lot of the same things that we did last year. And we're going to try to expand on all of that as well. As far as trips were a big part of our campus, but we don't know what the guidelines are going to be yet to be able to put those trips back in. So we're waiting for guidelines, which should come sometime March, April-ish. And then we can make decisions on, whether we're going to have trips or not, and what we can work into the schedule. It's going to be a good return to normalcy for the kids again after a crazy school year. Calendar should be out next month with all the activities that we're planning and we're adding in. And again, we would like to have trips, but that depends on the guidelines down the road. Okay. So going into our camp day, how does our camp day work? Our camp day starts where the kids, campers come in, like they wash up outside, they go to their hubs where attendance is taken, lunches are put away. You do bring lunch for the campers. We store the lunch in the refrigerators. We also heat up lunch. We do have microwaves on campus, so if that helps. We have drinks provided on campus throughout the day for campers, so you can send a water bottle to have it refilled, etc. So then we call them down for what we call a breakout challenge in the gym, where everybody's together and we do a camp-wide activity and get everybody ready and psyched up for the day. And then they go to 40 to 45-minute activities, including sports, arts and crafts, interactive games, Gaga, go-karts, steam, water play, and everything else that we mentioned in the previous slide, along with clubs and activities. And the clubs and activities are based mostly on our staff's ability and their talents. One year, I know we had cheerleading as one of our electives because our kids were into that. I know another campus had knitting and crocheting because one of their counselors and staff members did that. So we've had, knitting, we've had news reporting, art, cheerleading. So there's so many variety of clubs and activities that they could choose from depending on what's offered at each campus, depending on how talented our staff is. We also have programs that come in like fitness, educamp, soccer, dance, which are being offered to the campers as well. Okay.
To piggyback off of what Tracy was saying, I know last summer we incorporated our own cooking program, and we do science and nature. So we had group leaders step up and be in that position where They took charge and they came up with a lesson plan for the kids. And we did multiple experiments. We did nature walks in terms of cooking. They made me pizza bagels. They made a fruit salad. These are just some of the things that, we try to incorporate for ourselves. And also in terms of the schedule, we are very spaced out throughout the building. We have the gym, we have the second floor for activities where, as Tracy said, we have the STEM program, we have arts and crafts, we have dance, we have the game room. We also have downstairs a second part of the game room where we have a ping pong table. There are giant board games such as Giant Connect 4, Giant Jenga. We do have board games also that the kids can play with, Monopoly, checkers, and everything else. So we are very expansive and diverse in what we bring to the camp.
Yeah, so during the day, they're going to have activities, including all of that. So they'll have water games, they'll have gym activities, arts, crafts, game room, video game room, and it rotates throughout the week of what their schedule will entail. And then we throw in the specials and the electives. And then, we give an afternoon snack to all of the campers. They can have water breaks throughout the day. They do have a lunch period. And then at the end of the day, as they get dismissed, they're getting dismissed from an activity. Okay. Moving on. Off-campus activities, like we said, off-campus activities were a huge part of our camp experience. They went swimming and bowling. We did field trips like Adventureland, and they did a Mets game for the older kids. They did a tennis center for the older kids. All the grades went to the movies. What else, Jamal, that you can think of?
For the younger kids, Chuck E. Cheese,
The Little Gym.
Little Gym, Pat. What was they went to a different petting zoo.
Yeah, they went to White Post Farms. We
White
also
Post
bring a
Farms,
petting
yes.
zoo onto campus for the little
Yes.
kids as well. So there's a lot of activities that come on campus and go off campus, but again, that depends on, the guidelines that the CDC and the Department of Health and all that are going to set for us this summer.
We also did Dave and Buster's one year. We did One World Arcade. So just to show you the variety and types of trips that we do have when we get the okay to have them.
Okay. Moving on to our health and wellness. Health and wellness is big on our campus. All of our senior staff members, which are our group leaders, our specialists, our director, program director, regional directors, we're all certified in American Red Cross, CPR, first aid, as well as anaphylaxis response and food allergies awareness by Safe for Kids. All campers and staff are required to have medical histories on file. So they have to have a yearly physical exam with the immunization records. Everything's read and taken care of by our wellness director and made sure that everything is up to date. So our staff is, and our campers are, we try to keep them as safe as possible. Okay. We get on to registration information. We have, what's unique about our campus is that we offer a choice of up to 8 weeks. Hello? Did you guys hear me? I'm sorry, my computer just went blank for a second. All right, technical difficulties. We offer a choice of up to 8 weeks. We have you can choose between 2 and 5 days per week, and you can mix and match weeks of your choice. So you can basically create your own schedule. The more days and the more weeks that you choose, the cheaper camp is going to be. So you're getting more for your money, the more that you choose to come. We've seen parents and families register for 1 or 2 weeks, and then they've extended for the rest of the summer because their kids were always so happy. We do offer employee discounts, sibling discounts, rebates, and ways to save for your camper. So if you have an employee discount, you would send a copy of your ID if you're on one of those employee discount lists, and you would send an email with a copy of your ID to the office, and they would apply that discount. The sibling discounts for one sibling is 5% off for each child, And when you have more than two siblings, then it's 10% off. Okay, so that's really good. They try to keep it as affordable as possible for you. Again, your camp fees are based on the amount of times and weeks and days that are chosen for you. Okay. We also have payment plans where you can choose to pay in full, or you can make a deposit and then make monthly payments on our monthly installment plan. So that works really well for some families as well. And you pay through the end of August. All right, moving on. Anybody have any questions? If you have any questions, you can put them in the Q&A. I don't know if there have been any in the Q&A so far.
No, not yet.
Have you?
Not yet.
Does anyone have any questions? I don't see any in here. I'll give you guys a minute to type one in if you guys need to ask anything. I have made it so you guys, anybody who wants to talk or ask a question, you guys can do that as well. Okay, there is a question. Do we need to select weeks in advance, or is there a fee to change weeks? You have to choose weeks in advance, but the good part about it is that you have until May 1st to decide on any changes that you want to make. So if you sign up now and choose weeks and then you decide you want to change something, you have until May 1st to change it. I hope that answers that question. What is the ratio for counselor to child? That's a good question. For the younger kids, for the tiny tots and kinder camp, we usually try to keep it a 1-to-3 ratio. For the first, second, third graders, for the most part, we try to keep it a 1-to-5 ratio. And for the older kids, it's 1-to-7 ratio. But we do beat Department of Health standards. We go above and beyond what's recommended. And when they go to activities, they're going to activities with a teacher. So when they go to art and when they go to gym, you know, those are teachers teaching those classes. So it's an extra set of hands. You guys have any other questions? Because you guys can speak. I gave you ability to do that. So if anybody needs anything answered, you guys could just speak up and unmute yourselves.
What is the registration process?
You would go on to our Camps R Us website and you register right online. It will ask you, you know, if register now, it'll say. And then you just fill everything out online and you make your deposit online. So everything's done through the computer. So it's an easier process for everybody rather than having the paper trail. And then everything's billed to your Camp in Touch account when you register.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else have any questions? Things that we didn't cover, things that you need clarification on? Okay, I'll give you guys another minute if you need. Jamal, you can go to the next slide.
Okay.
All right, we do thank you guys for coming to Camps R Us. If you have any further questions that you didn't have answered, you can always email the Camps R Us office. You know, a lot of information is on our website, but definitely email Camps R Us and they can answer anything that you might need answers to. Okay. Well, I think there might be one more.
Oh, I have another question. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I might have missed this. You might have covered this. So I was, my husband and I are planning to send our kids part-time, so 2 to 3 days a week. Do those have to be structured throughout the whole summer? It has to be the same 2 to 3 days, or can we change it week to week based on what our work schedules and what we have?
Yeah, if you need to change it week to week, you would just email the camp office and just put that in an email, because then they just have to do it. You know, if you know your schedule in advance, you can do it right away. If you don't know your schedule in advance and it's going to change, then you would just email the camp office and they would make changes for you. Okay, any other questions, concerns? We look forward to having you guys this summer if you choose Camps or Us. It is a great place to be. My kids go there. I've worked at numerous camps. This is by far one of the best ones that I've ever worked at. You know, our staff treats us as family. We treat you guys as family, and it is definitely a family run camp, and you definitely will feel that way if you come to Camps or Us. Jamel, do you want to add anything?
Honestly, I just want to say we at East Rockaway, we go above and beyond for not only for our campers, but for the environment to make sure that it is a friendly and loving environment and that the kids always have fun and are always safe and secure. Our biggest thing is safety and having fun. Because in the summertime, that's what most kids want to do. You want to have fun, but you want to be safe about it. And that's just the biggest thing for us. It's a phenomenal environment. Our staff is phenomenal. Our group leaders are amazing. Our counselors are amazing. Our activity specialists are great, and our junior counselors are the best in my opinion. I'm gonna give us our nod, and I just want to say, East Rockaway is the place to be at for Camps of Us.
Hey, thank you, Jamal. If nobody has any other questions, then yes, we do have a question. Are there shaded areas outside? There are. In the back part of our parking lot, there is a huge tree that shades that whole area. Plus in the afternoon, the sun hits on the other side of our building, so the shade expands. So we do have a nice shaded area for the kids. We also put up tents so the kids can sit under the tents and cool off a little bit. And we have a cooler with cups out there with water so the kids can hydrate as well when they're outside. So we do have shaded areas. We do heat up lunches. That was another question. You can send in lunches. We have a microwave so we can heat things up for the campers. Yes.
We have another question. It says, "Do all counselors undergo background check?" Yes, they do.
Yes, all of our staff undergoes a great background check. It's sent to the sex offender registry. It's also sent to the state for any other background checks possible. All the directors and whoever does the hiring, we call references as well. So they go under a full background check.
You had stated that all the counselors were trained in anaphylaxis response. My son carries an EpiPen. Would he have to keep that on his person, or is there a nurse or EMT or something on site that would hold that for him?
We don't have a nurse on site, but all of our group leaders and all of our professional staff are certified in anaphylaxis and EpiPen. So he would hold that, but we would assist on giving it if he needs to have it.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, any other questions? These are all good questions. And our staff goes through a rigorous training. Our trainings they do some virtual trainings, they do some in-person trainings, and they're trained in numerous areas on kids' needs and behavior needs. So it's really intense. They go through probably about total worth spread out through, through June and before June. I would say that they get a good 30 hours of training. So it is kind of intense, but we want them to have the background for when they go into the camp experience that they know what they're doing. Anyone else? Last minute questions? Feel free to put it in the chat or the Q&A. Right, if no one else has any questions, then we are good to go for today. But like I said, if something does come up, feel free to email info@campsorus.org, and they'll be more than happy to answer any questions for you. We will have another open house in March. Just to give you a date, if you need to know it right now, It's going to be March 21st. So if you have any other questions, you can definitely come on to the next open house and ask as well. Okay, but we do thank you guys for coming. We hope we've made your choice a little easier for camp, and we hope to see you this summer.
Absolutely.
Thank
And
you.
have a great weekend. You're
You too.
welcome.
Weekend.